What's up, everybody? This is Solo Assassin 45, and this is part 2 of the anti-Leroy Tech series. You may have already have heard that there was already a patch that was supposed to be a nerf, but not really, and there's supposed to be another one on the way mid-February, probably like the 14th, maybe sometime in that week. Who knows if we're lucky. But personally, I think it's going to take at least another patch or two before Leroy is kind of in a reasonable state. That's assuming they don't get rid of, like, entirely get rid of certain moves. Hopefully they do, but we'll see. Either way, we're still going to have to deal with Leroy for at least another 2 weeks being ridiculously OP. And that's where this anti-Leroy Tech series comes in. I don't expect to solve all our problems with this bullshit character, but hopefully this helps while we wait for the NAM cops to sort all of this out. So enough of my babbling, let's get to the tech.
You know, fallen bamboos. What the fuck? Alright, 4-4. Alright, let's see what the hell this is. Fallen bamboos is the first up on this whole thingy here. I guess this will be part 2 or part 3. Nah, part 2 of the anti-Leroy tech. Oh, this one you can sidestep right on this. But it tracks a little bit on whiff. Yeah, you can sidestep that. Yeah, I see, yeah, it tracks a little bit. Generally, you really got to be committed to that sidestep and the counter after the sidestep. You don't want to just be walking around, because there's a good chance he might follow that with some old bullshit. Or the tracking. His cone-shaped tracking might get you. Said the legit to win a Steve, you just need 3-1. Well, you need a little more with Leroy, but from what I've been hearing, there's not a whole lot of thought to it. I mean, motherfuckers was like legitimately going, okay, we're gonna use our month-old Leroy in the Evo top 8. Like, 6 people, 6 high-level competitors out of 8. And at the moment now, people are like, yo, we just gotta switch to Leroy. I mean, the dude that won was like, they asked him, so what do you have to say? Just pick Leroy. Like, it's just gonna, we in dog times right now, I guess. So, you know, I'm just trying to do what I can to try to mitigate some of that. So, alright, let me see, back to move 11. Oh, definitely not safe on block. We got that going for us. It's a high mid though, so you want to be careful if you're going to try to, you know, do like some sort of ducking move. Not get too eager. But you can get you something going. I hate trying to do combos with the controller, but you can do some. Of course, a 10 frame if you got one. And you can do that too. Let's see what else is, you know, particularly useful about this move. Ooh, okay. As far as counter options on whiff, you got your 4-4. Okay, 4-4 is... 4-4 may not be as reliable as I like. Maybe on the second move. Or the first. But it doesn't feel very reliable. Definitely on whiff, you get your 4-4-4 and be kind of safe. And I feel like back 2 is probably another good choice too if you want to get a combo. Yeah, I figured back 2. You could just, you know, slam him right in his nuts. Most of the time. And I think 4-4 might be useful here. Nah, that's gonna put you in danger. Alright, as far as startup goes, that shit is kind of fast. So if you ain't got no 10 frame, then, you know, you're better off trying to get the punish on block or trying to sidestep it. Trying to interrupt something like that if you know it's coming is not a good move. That's a sidestep or, you know, like I just said, block and counter or punish. I think we got everything on this move. Let's move on to another one. Alright, the next move is chain punch them. Why does this move do so much damage? Yeah, it's Leroy. Pretty much, it's just Leroy. Alright, as you can see from this move, it's a shit ton of highs. Let's see what, let's console. I can't even speak right now. Let's check the notes and see what the notes say. Oh shit, this shit jails and tracks? Ain't that some old bullshit? Alright, this move jails and tracks, but it's not safe. That's big though. That negative 17, if they get, you know, all frisky with that last move there, you can really put in some work. More or less. Because he does get a little, damn, that does do a lot of damage. Okay, like I was saying, he does get a lot of pushback, or more than he deserves. But you can still do something. I can't fully get the combo. Let me get on the other side so that my actual controller works a little better on this side. Since this move tracks. Hold on. This punish is possible. Let me see, what was the other one? What's the other big one I got? No, you can't even do that shit because too much pushback. Alright, so you got the neutral too, as far as Akuma mains. And you might be able to get a low off with this shit. You got that option too. So you might try Genryu. Not a bad choice. Genryu got some good moves, man. He got some good fucking moves. And he doesn't feel as cheap as Leroy. He just got some cool shit going. Yeah, that might be the case, Dino. I've had some experience running into laws, and he's not so bad as far as sidestepping. He can really get slippery on you. All right, let me see. Let's just, you know, to show you that this shit does track. Hold on. So, you know, you don't get tempted to wanna try to sidestep if you know this bullshit is coming, you know, because it's gonna get you. Okay, wait up. Let's not count that one. Let's get on the side where I can, you know, sidestep a little bit. Alright. Yeah, it's just gonna follow you there. It's gonna follow you wherever you're going. Now we go over here. We go to the side that he's supposed to be going, and it will follow you. So don't sidestep. Just block. Talking about for large, if you sidestep to the right. That I didn't know. Yeah, for this move, the best option if you can block it, and then you know you get you a counter. Probably not a down two, maybe, but yeah, that's your best bet. All right, let's move on to some of these. I believe these are the Hermit moves, or some of the moves that go into Hermit. What was it? 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 4. All right, cool. He got another move that he does is a double, what's it called? A double low that's guaranteed damn near most of the time on most of his combos. Yeah, he can do a lot of damage. It just ain't even right. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna make that one work, but we'll just work with it because it's weird. Because if he does that, he's not gonna really transition to anything else. He's either gonna transition to something else, but he's not gonna go directly to block. Yeah, we'll just work with it. It's okay. Let's see. It's two highs, but the mid jails. And as you can see, yeah, there's that. And it happens to be safe on block, but that doesn't really count for much if you get a fast jab in, because you know once he gets into Hermit, he has to do another input in order to do something, and that input, whatever it is going to take time. Unless it's a low, then your jab is not going to hit. You got to go with like a mid or something, a fast mid. That would probably be the best bet once he goes into Hermit. Fast mid, whatever it is, just fast mid. Once he's going to Hermit, shit gets weird, and you can't do any lows. But the one consolation about this is that, you know, if you know he's gonna do this shit, you can just, you know, immediately go into your low and just stop the auto parry thing, or you go into your mid or whatever the case may be. Oh yeah, last little quick note on that move. As you can see, the first two hits are 10 and a 12. So yeah, they're very fucking fast. So you're not even gonna interrupt that. Your best chance is to either make the read and duck, or wait till you try to go into that Hermit shit and hit him with a fast mid. or a jab. But probably a best bet is a fast mid because he might do one of his hermit lows for sweet nonsense. But do not do that. Oh, you're gonna be in trouble. All right, let's move on to. Let's see, what's the next one? Oh, I think 13 is the Hermit Sands itself. So let's see if that is what I'm thinking it is. Yeah. Where's Hermit? Yep, it is Hermit. All right. So it's like, all right, we gotta go on a Hermit into that. Into what was that? Julia caught everybody off guard because everybody was using Leroy, and they're like, wow. What are we working with here? Ooh, that's safe? That's some old bullshit. Slow startup though. So if you see that coming, let's see, what can we do to interrupt? I mean, there's an interruption with the... Oh, that is some old bullshit. I would say there's an interruption with the... Because he has to get into Hermit and then transition, but... This shit has an auto parry in it. I don't even think I have that in notes. No. Wow. So this move has an auto parry. Number 14, whatever the fuck this is. It has an auto parry in it. So yeah. Let's see what that auto parry works on. Well, that's some old bullshit. Wow. Okay, you can do a low, or yeah, you can get a low in once he transitions from Hermit to the actual attack, but it is a little slippery there because like if you do the low at the too early, you'll get caught in the auto parry for the low, and a hot like you can interrupt that move, but it's a little risky because there's an auto parry somewhere in there. 8 fucking frames? Jeez, that's pretty good. Alright, let's take a look at the tracking here. Oh, it doesn't track, I guess there's that. Like I said before, it is safe on block, so you really don't want to eat that. If you know it's coming, sidestep that shit. Let's see what we can do on whiff. Forward, forward, forward. Maybe forward, forward. Yeah, forward four is another good combo starter on whiff. Full bone whiff, you could probably get it back to him, you know. Avoid most of the troubles there. I think forward four. Or forward three, I mean. Nah, you're just gonna get punched in the stomach. Maybe like that, maybe, but then there's that to look out for, so. Yeah, forward, forward, four. Your best bet. Sometimes. Alright, so your best bet is probably sidestepping if you know what's coming. And number 2 would be like an actual attack. Sidestep 2 an attack. Number 2 would be an actual attack. Overhead heavy, something like that. Mid crush. Good. Alright, let's move on to move number 15. What's this? Horizontal elbow strikes. Alright, 2-1. Not a hermit. Alright, we got ourselves a double high. Doesn't jail though. Let's get hit by the first hit. Nope, doesn't jail. Alright, alright, alright. So you got combo opportunities there. But it's safe on block. So you really do need to duck that second hit if you want to do something about this. And steal a turn. If not, he's just going to keep going. He's going to do what Leroy does. Alright, also doesn't track. Alright, disregard that one. Or maybe I was wrong about that. It might have some tracking there. Okay, it has very inconsistent tracking, but it does track a little bit. So yeah, you want to be careful about that too. You can sidestep it, but tracking is very inconsistent. Sometimes it'll clip you. Let's see, since this is a double high, you can get away with back two on whiff. And forward four. Oh, that was forward 4. That was forward 4. And of course, if you see it coming, I don't know if there's an auto parry in there. Well, let's see if there's an auto parry somewhere hidden in there. Let's block the first hit and see if we can get... Ooh. There is a counter hit if you press a button on that. So there's no auto parry, but there is a counter hit. Ooh. You might want to be careful of that. Your best bet when that move comes out is probably to duck. Second would be to try to sidestep. Because it will clip you sometimes. And sometimes you'll get away. Alright, let's move on to number 16. Stampeding Dragon, 3-4 during. So now let's work with this. Alright, you gotta block the low, or you will take the high. Or the mid, I mean. First, yeah. You better block the mid, I mean the low. You can't block the mid otherwise. The mid is not safe on block. Doesn't track either. Doesn't track much. A lot of things with Leroy, they don't track until they track. So you got that. Okay, definitely doesn't track very well to the left. Most of the time. Okay. So his tracking is like 50-50 on this. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. So tracking is not very much an option. It's more one of those moves. Kind of got to make the read and know it's coming and either, you know, get a parry going. Assuming that, you know, my controller would allow such a thing. We're gonna go to the other side and get a parry. Yeah. You can, you know, if you see it coming, the low coming, probably best to just parry that to save yourself a lot of trouble. Dealing with that mid. Because you might block the low, but not get up in time for the mid, you know. Or think it's another low with some, you know, whatevs, you know. Oh, you might just use that one hit as a poke. And do another low with some other shit, you know. So if you know the low is coming, it's a good idea to parry that. Let's see. Oh, 16 frame startup. It's not exactly the fastest move. So you might be able to get away with an interruption. I don't think there's an auto parry in there, no. No auto parries. Proper mid poke. You could get up in there and just, you know, shut all that nonsense down. So you got that going for you. And let's see on whiff. Back two, I guess. Back two, maybe. I feel like forward 4 and forward 4 are probably your best bets. Nice kick that puts a decent amount of space between you and all his shit. Down forward 4, another one to just, you know, most of the time, get him out of your face. And let me see, let's see. Am I forgetting something on this move? No, I think we covered everything. Inconsistent tracking, particularly to the left. Let's get on this side so I can at least, yeah. At least definitely for the first hit. Not so good on the left, so if you sidestep that first hit, you can just, you know, counter. Alright. Number 17. Let's see what this is. What's this? Cautious Dragon. Okay. 4, 1, 2 out of Hermit. 4, Then 1+2 out of Herman. That's gonna have to do it. Alright, let's see, what do we have here? Play. Oh. I think that's another one of the moves in the punish thing. It might be. I don't think it is though. In any event, 14 on block. Depending on your character, you might have some options. Kumba Boy here, I don't have a whole lot. You pretty much got down forward 1, 2, maybe 10 frame. Oh yeah, that's that, but it's not gonna hit unless you got some sort of shit you can do after that. That'll guarantee a hit. All that pushback kind of makes it hard for the demon kick after the flip to hit. Oh yeah, it doesn't track though. We got that. Ooh, yeah, it doesn't seem like it has very much tracking, despite Leroy's magical tracking skills. We go to the side. Doesn't track very well. Doesn't very well track. All right, let me see. What else are we not quite getting on this? 12 frame startup. Ooh. Yeah, so you're not gonna really want to try to interrupt that. And it's 3 mid, so you're not gonna try to duck any part of this string. Your best bet is if you get hit, you're gonna either want to block that and just try to do something afterwards, or just wait for your turn again. Or if you know it's coming because you like spamming this particular move, then you can sidestep it and just be on about your business and do something to him, you know? Still your turn back. But I mean, once he sees that tracking is that terrible, he's probably not gonna be dumb enough to do that move again. But it depends. So you know, you just gotta be ready. If he's spamming that shit, just take a walk and then, you know, punish him for his troubles. Let's see, on whiff. What do we have on whiff about this? Because this one seems like it could be a problem. Let's see what we could do about this. Forward 4? I don't think back 2. We can try a little back 2 action, but forward 4, yeah. Maybe forward 4? Possibly. But you gotta be early with it. You gotta get him early in the string with the forward 4. With forward 4, you could probably just clip him at any point when you're doing this Leroy nonsense. Me not being patient at all. Most of the time. I'm sure character to character, there's better options and worse options as far as countering that on whiff. But since the tracking is so crappy, if you know what's coming, you ain't gotta worry too much about trying to hit that on whiff. You know, you could just do an armor move or some sort. Let him deal with that shit on his own.